Okay, so we'll maybe just begin the webinar. I'll just take this time to welcome everyone who's joining us on the webinar today. And before we actually, kind of switch on to the topic, I'll just introduce uh, the guest we have today. And I've had this ardent pleasure of having one or two conversations with ma'am, and I mean, she's pretty knowledgeable around everything that we are going to talk today. Uh, I mean, an amazing HR professional with over 18 years of experience in the field of HR, and then now she's also someone who's NLP certified and works with a lot of individuals and consults people. Not just that, she's also a Reiki healer and an author of an awesome book called Unlock the Infinity. So, and I mean, this book basically talks about a lot in detail what we are going to discuss today. I mean, what goes along in an organization and how do you deal with your mental health issues. Uh, Even though the whole topic of mental health is pretty stigmatized across all over the world, more so in India, but then why it should not be stigmatized and why it should be looked at from a easy eye or from a basic holistic health perspective is something that we are going to discuss today. And I'll just pass this baton on to ma'am and give a little bit more introduction around this, and I'll not keep on going about the chemical locha that you have in your brain. It's not at all a chemical locha, and that's something that she'll explain.
Great. Thank you so much, Pratyush, for. Can you hear me?
Yeah, of course. You're pretty clear.
Loud and clear. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. That was a very warm welcome. I must say that. Yeah, you have taken my energy levels to the next level. So I hope I'll take everyone's energy level to the next level, of course, with whatever I understand and have learned over this period of time. All right. So as your topic says, while I was discussing with you, promoting mental health at workplace, right? Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I'm understanding.
Yes.
So at first, I would want to, put a little light on what is this mental health we are talking about. We are hearing this word so much these days, mental health. There is physical health, there is emotional health, there is mental health, right?
Yeah.
We knew that. But why these days mental health and promoting? What do you promote actually in an organization? You promote things which are ready for the next level, which will yield you productivity, right? Which will yield you situations, events, people who can handle challenging situations, who can build great relationships, right? So those are the things we promote in an organization, is what I believe.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So mental health at this point in our is very important. That's why it's being pushed. Otherwise, it was always there. Just that we were not that much focusing into it. More so after this pandemic thing, the COVID thing, it has become very evident, right? Why? Because we come across a lot of things, a latest research also says that working professionals across globe, 90% of the people are going through some or the other, kind of stress, anxiety, or even burnout. So that is how it is. So there are a lot of reasons around it. It could be, ever increasing workload. It could be around, unrealistic deadlines, right? It could be around work-life balance that we talk about.
Yes.
It could be about non-empathetic superiors, team members, colleagues. Yeah.
That happens.
It could be about non-supportive organization culture. We definitely do not know too much about it. At times, it also is a reason to adding on to that, right? So all of that, and which commonly people know as your internal politics, competition, ambiguity in the market these days. So all of this contribute to the mental wellness or not being so well about that.
Sure. And how do we tackle this? I mean, what could be an easy way to just get along with this mental stress and still kind of keep going? That would.
Okay. So one thing which I want to tell you here is, first of all, please understand that there is no sugar pill. There is no pill that I give you or anybody on earth will give you, and one time you consume it and you are completely fine.
Sure.
So this is a process. This is a kind of practice which you need to, execute, and then eventually you evolve into it. So it is just not responsibility. Having said that, I would also want to say it is just not responsibility of the corporate houses or your human resources or your leaders, but yourself as well,
Sure.
as an individual. It is our responsibility as an individual, right? My mind, I take care of it. If I don't take care of it, somebody else will do it. So better do it upfront. Okay. However, let's come back to the state wherein we're talking about organizations and places where we work. What is that we can do? At organization level, there are certain practices which needs to be taken care of. And I'm sure a lot of professionals who would know of it. Recently, WHO, World Health Organization, has also launched a new guideline around mental wellness, right? They talk about decent working. Now, what is this? Decent working is wherein you have hygienic, healthy, and safe workplace. So there are a lot of things around that guideline. Your working hours and your, taking care of the employees, not only in terms of working hours and your place, but also about the quality food, the quality, education around that, and entire holistic well-being is what is being taken care of. There are a lot of guidelines around it, which has come, right? And the Psychiatry India states, Psychiatry India is a research body which talks about how mental health is impacting around 59 billion people across the globe. And only in India, if you look, there are about 39 million cases, wherein 39 lakh million cases. Wherein,
these are just the ones that are reported.
Yeah, they're reported for depression, simply depression. There could be ample number of reasons, it is just not work. But of course, out of the reasons which we spoke in the beginning, right, they also contribute. Entirely you as an I, and you live a total life wherein we have 5 phases. It is our body, that is our health, then comes our mind, then comes our relationship, it affects our finances, okay, and then we have our holistic us. So it's very important to do self-mastery first. It is the best thing which you can do at this point in time. It's very easy that we look externally and look for things to change, and somebody will come and tell me, then I'll do it. Please take charge of your things. Right? As I always say, you plan your day or somebody else will plan it. Similarly, you plan your mind, how you're going to create your mindset around things, and then take it forward from there. All right. Other than that, see, all these 5 lives that we live, they are interconnected. If you have some trouble in your body, do you think you'll feel like working?
No.
If you have financial issues, boggling you down, do you think you'll be able to focus at work?
Not at all.
Right? If you have your career issues, right?
Yeah.
Would you be able to focus? How will you have a great mindset? Right?
Yeah.
So it's very important. These all are interlinked. So you need to practice a few things to keep them intact.
Sure.
Nobody from outside will come and do it. The better, the sooner we start taking charge of ourselves, it is going to help us. Okay. So from organization per se, there are a few things which a lot of organizations are practicing. One is they've started, earlier, like how we had medical rooms in the organizations. Now we have mindfulness room. You have professionally qualified, coaches, counselors, and even psychiatrists who visit your premises for some days in a month so that your employees can interact with them. So that's very much in these days. But I understand that not all of the organizations, we are at different level, will be able to, organize for such things. But what best, there is a lot of wellness practices, engagement practices are being done. So at least once in 10 days, 15 days, there could be sessions around how to take care of yourself, of your mind, right? Mindful thinking, how to declutter your mind and all. That is not a big task. We almost every day physically declutter a lot of things from our body, right? We wake up, we wash our face, right? We brush our teeth, right? We comb our hair, right? Similarly, every day there's a practice which you can do to keep your mind also clean. Get that thing, start believing in that. For so long, we have not been told, nowhere we have been taught. We have been taught how to stand, how to talk, how to dress up, how to look, but nowhere we are taught how do we manage this. There is no manual.
Yeah.
No one has a manual. It's so easy, right? A 2 years old, 4 years old can also, work on the phone, do a lot of things. Now, children also are used to so much gadgets and all of that. But nowhere, not even in the school, not in the colleges, not even in the offices, we don't have that manual as yet, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, I, as an individual, work a lot on a line of service over here at Indian Care called AHC, right, which is more like an annual health check.
Okay.
And we see a lot of people have hypertension or at times
Correct.
BP issues and stuff like that. So, I mean, is it something which is related to your mind and your way of thinking, and it's basically impacting your body as well? Does that happen?
Of course, yes, you're very right when you say that there are some diseases which arise out of, your mind. Okay. These are called psychosomatic diseases, right? Medical research says that about 90% of the diseases these days, they crop up out of your stress in the mind. You hear a lot of things around inflammation these days. What is it? It is because of stress. As you said, hypertension, and you see cardiac arrest also. You've been hearing about, about it quite often. Young age people are getting on that. Then you have migraine. You have a lot of stomach issues. You have backache. You have shoulder ache, neck ache, and different type of aches, right? Which is all have cropped in. It is just not our sitting postures and all, but a lot to do with what is going on between your two ears here. It has contributed. These are called as psychosomatic ailments or diseases. Psycho is from your mind. Psycho means from your mind, right? Element of mind is there, which is contributing, attribute is there. And somatic is from your physical existence. So they combine together. And we are blessed, rather, I would say, with these things if we don't take care of it, right? So of late, yes, there's a rise in numbers, and there are ample number of ways we can take care of it.
Sure.
That is also very important. And I was talking about an organization C. At an organization level, it is holistic view, right? It is just not one practice will help. You will have to look from a holistic angle. How do you talk? How do you walk your talk here? It is your culture. It is your people. It is your practices, right? What are the practices that you are doing?
Yeah.
How are you taking care of your employees? It is just not that you have done some insurance and medical, insurance for your people, health insurance, and you are done with it. No, it doesn't stop there. Right? Your values, your people, of course, leadership plays an important role here. It is very easy to put it, just to one department, which is HR, or to put it to the team leads or the next levels and on. But it will only translate down when it comes from top, which is your leadership.
Sure.
Because you need to imbibe, you need to, live by it. If you don't demonstrate how you're going to do it, right? Your culture matters a lot. Your trust factor matters a lot, right? People are so scared. They don't come and talk about it. Why? Stigmatization. Even, even if you have that open door policy, which is a good thing, where people can go talk to their managers and HRs and a lot of other team members or leadership. But why will they go to you? What is stopping them? We don't see a large number of people going there and talking, expressing whatever it is, whether it is grief, it is anger, it is distrust, it is frustration. It is all, in compounding effect, causing a lot of stress and anxiety, which in turn is a cause for not having a good mental facility. Yes.
So, I mean, I do understand, we are coming from an organizational level and we're talking about, the kind of policies that an organization has, and then, what is flowing down from the leadership and stuff like that. I'll just, in the interest of a lot of people who might be present over here, and this is working in an organization, maybe that doesn't have a great culture, because it happens.
Which is fine.
And it happens in a lot of places at the end, right?
Right.
You may not always get an amazing manager. Your manager
Right.
might not be that experienced with people. So I mean, what should an individual on your own level, I mean, should do to, even if there's an environment out there which is not that healthy, but you can still do something that you can keep yourself sane and healthy in that environment as well. I mean, is there something or some anecdote to that, or some medicine to that as to how do you manage that?
Okay. All right. I understand where you're coming from. Well, tell me one thing. When you're saying manager and an employee and that relationship, that environment, a lot of things contribute to your mental health, right?
Yeah.
Now, is it one time or is it repetitive? I want to understand the context.
I mean, the context is, if I mean, it's a high pressure job, let's say. I mean, there's something called as targets and other things, and then when you're going out to your manager, he's just like, achieve your targets. I don't know anything about it. I mean, just
Okay.
don't come to me for the stupid things out here, right? So I
Okay.
mean, now if you're working in that kind of a culture, and you see it at a lot of companies, even
Okay.
a lot
Okay.
of bigger ones as well. So I mean, how do you handle something of that sort? I mean, or you just went out to someone and they lashed out at you. What do you do at that point in time?
Okay. Again, as I asked you, what is the context? Okay. There are two solutions to it. What I can see as of now, what I understand as of now, right? One, first you need to understand, is it only once or twice? It is not a pattern, which is not repeating. If it is only once or twice, you also need to understand as an individual, is there something which was expected out of me and I have not delivered? Right. And at some point in time, also I am not ready to take the feedback. Right. That is only one or two times if it happens, not more than 1, 2, 3 times, right? Because what happens, somebody is talking to you at the top of the voice. You are here, right? You also start the same thing, right? Rather than bringing the temperature down, we are raising it.
Sure.
And when the temperature is up, what happens? It is all heated up. It blasts. There is no solution to it, right? So let us take the another one, wherein let's say you find it as a pattern and you're not able to express yourself. Probably you are thinking you are right from your side and your manager is thinking he or she is right from their side. Okay, but then there is no solution to it at this point in time. Now tell me one thing. Life, you understand, life is a sequence of experiences. We have experiences, right? Right. And how do we determine the quality of our life? These experiences only cater to the quality of life. Do you agree to that?
Yeah, I do agree to that. Yes.
Yeah. Now, how are we creating those experiences? If I have to create an experience, there has to be a me and an environment.
Sure.
There has to be interaction between them, right?
Yep.
This is me and this is my environment. What does environment comprise of? It comprises of people.
Yep.
It can comprise of situations. It can comprise of incidents. It can be anything, right? So when
Anything external to you, maybe.
yeah, so there is environment is external. This is you. You have an internal environment with you, right? This is external. It can be people. It can be situations. It can be incident. It can be anything else as well. Many factors can be there. Now you interact. That creates your experience. Now tell me, which one can you control? This one or this one?
You can only control yourself. Yeah.
Sure?
Yes.
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
control air. Can you control?
No.
Cannot. Right? Therefore, it is always said, don't waste your time. What we do? Mindlessly, we follow what we cannot control. इसने बोला आज कैसे हो गया 4 दिन से बोल रहा हूँ 1 हफ्ते से बोल रहे हैं कुछ तो हो नहीं रहा. These are external factors. Every time, yaar, why same time bosses I'm getting? Every time, why same kind of team? Every time, same kind of organizations I fall prey to. Does it happen with us? It does happen, right?
Yes.
At times we are in that pattern. होता है हमारे साथ. What are we supposed to do then? Only 2 things is that you can do, right?
Yeah.
One, take the responsibility, okay, and be aware. This is happening with me. Now, when I say take the responsibility, what does it mean? You have to be in responsibility frame. Now, Pratyush will say, ma'am, it is not my fault. मैं क्यों लूं जिम्मेदारी, यही बोलता रहता है हमेशा, यही बोलती है हमेशा, हर बार मैं ले लूं जिम्मेदारी, आई विल टेक ब्लेम. So when I say responsibility frame, it doesn't mean that you take the blame, right? You have two things. It is talking about the way you respond, give your responses. You have choice there, right? You have a choice. One is dynamic response. Yes, I accept, and then you act. Okay. Second one is passive response. In passive response, what you do is you accept the situation and you do not act, right? So over a period of time, when you are more into a passive kind of response, passive acceptance, you build up a lot of guilt, a lot of grudge, a lot of frustration. Because you are accepting, you're not taking action, you're accepting, you're not taking action. And you always have a choice. As I say, that we are human beings, right? We are human beings. Beings means we have a choice. Animals don't have a choice. You can choose between a white or a black. You can choose to lift your hand when you want, right? You can choose to have water whenever you want. You can choose to sit or stand, right? You have a choice. So how many times you are practicing your dynamic response approach model? That's very important. So every time when you come in this situation, it's very difficult, I know, at times, because we are not used to it. We have our limiting beliefs as well, right? Which stops us. But next time when you come across such things, what you can do is stop there. Okay. Look at it from an angle wherein you take responsibility. Again, understand responsibility is not taking blame. It is about your response. How are you giving responses? Is it dynamic? Is it passive? At least now that you are aware, you can use this, combination and understand. Otherwise, it is an ever-going fight. You will never end. You will not be at rest. Other one will not be at rest. Would you get any response, or will you wait the other person to take responsibility? That's again your choice. Keep secret. That's again your choice, right?
Yes, of course.
This is how this is one of the ways you can handle by being in responsibility frame. So this is part of neuro-linguistic programming, hardcore neuro-linguistic programming, wherein you learn what are the different frames, how do you shift your frames, and this is one of the frames which I spoke about, right?
So now that you're talking about this, shifting a frame, I mean, I'll maybe shift the frame a little bit over here as well, So so let's say, I mean, right now we were talking from an individual perspective, right? Let me shift it to a little bit of a managerial perspective, as if I'm managing a team, right? And I'm trying to kind of be the break in the chain. So I'm trying to kind of curtail that pattern of giving out stress to the team that works below me. So I mean, what are those factors that a manager should basically inculcate in their habits or in the way that they deal with their people, which will make it easier for them to kind of go through a less of a mental pressure for that matter. Maybe have a better mental health if they're working under you. I mean, that can also be another perspective that we can.
Okay. So first tell me, if you happen to be that manager, let's take, for example, right? You have a team down below you, right? What is your intention? Just repeat me. What do you want to gain out of it? What is your intention here if you want to have a clear mindset?
So, I mean, I would want my team to be basically happy, achieving their things, be productive, come up with new ideas, be creative, and that can only happen if your mind is free from all the other clutter that's happening around. So, I mean,
right? What steps you would do if you were not doing anything? What would you do to make your team happy?
I would rather basically lend them a ear, understand what their problems are, try to solve their problems, give them any kind of training or feedback that they particularly require to get their roles through, understand the whole dynamics as such as to how the ecology of the whole business is being impacted and how they are impacting that. And maybe that ways there'll be a positive outcome is what I think about that.
That's pretty, you're very close to it. Definitely. See, you already have a guiding voice inside of you, right? Because everybody, you are one of the managers and you have all the solutions with you. Okay, this is what will work with you is what you think. Now, when you said, very well said. Well, now when you said, lending them ears. When people come to you, as I say, managers should definitely have that open door policy. When you lend that open ear to them, please ask them upfront when they are trying to unload a few things in front of you. Do you want me to listen to it? Or you are seeking for help? Otherwise, what happens while they are talking, we would interrupt, right? We would, as managers, it is our tendency. We try to take charge of that conversation. उनको नहीं चाहिए आपसे कुछ. They don't want your ज्ञान. They don't want anything from you. They just want you to hear them. So listen them. So it's always a good practice. Ask them when they come to you. At least they will have confidence that this guy is compassionate enough. He's wanting to hear me. They will trust you. When they have trust in you, rest of the things will automatically fall in place, right?
Sure.
You may definitely train them, which is a good point, right? But clearing the mind is again a regular process. Training can be for few days, few months, not for lifetime, unless and until I am myself wanting to do it.
Sure.
You can give them those weapons, your tools.
Yeah.
You can teach them a couple of times how to use those tools, right? But how to get benefits out of it is up to them. That's why I say handhold only till the time they.
Right.
So that it is you who should definitely be looking for the, as a manager, you should be looking for those patterns, those behavior, wherein you find that they are not comfortable. Rather than they coming to you upfront, you should be there before that. We should not, never as an employer, start a communication when something bad has happened already, when they've already created a chaos, or when the problem has already arisen. Otherwise, what is the point of we being there, right?
Yeah.
So beforehand, those friendly communication talks should happen. And then probably you can take them to the next level, wherein you can give them a feedback and they're going to accept and do it. One fine day during your quarterly reviews or your, H1, H2 kind of reviews, 6 months reviews or annual reviews, we sit with entire bundle. The list of this is what you've done, this is not you've done, this is good, this is bad, this is excellent, this is poor, right? That is too much of a time. That continuous feedback, continuous observation, continuous, getting of those information about your people and helping them beforehand. Don't you think will help them have trust on you? Be more productive. Why are people not productive? Why do you face challenges? Because they struggle to focus, right? They struggle to focus because they are not clear. One time you're saying, "Bhai, timeline आ गई, deadline आ गई, दे दे." दूसरे मिनट आप कहते हो ये वाला क्या हुआ?
Right.
3 minutes, half an hour not gone. Then we asked, will you be part of another project? Okay, he not even says, he's saying, thinking, you said, अच्छा ठीक है तेरा नाम डाल देते हैं.
Right.
Right? This is what we have gone through and we do it. So the struggle, the productivity matters, it gets hampered. Then you also face the issues of, I don't know whether you face it or not, but I have seen in other organizations also a lot of sick leaves, absenteeism happens.
Yes.
They'll take time off, they're stressed. Now when they go, the workflow gets hampered. As the workflow gets hampered, the workload goes to people who are coming to office.
Sure.
This again leads to a lot of pressure, stress. Now this in turn leads to a lot of attrition. Employee turnover बढ़ जाता है.
Right.
Why? Why does it increase suddenly? It is not that only you need to look at compensations at one angle. When we talk of employee retention and all that, we only look at most of the time. Should we change your role? Should we, look at your salary structure again? It is not always the case. They're looking for some kind of support from you. They're not getting that adequate support. They're not getting that adequate job satisfaction. And that is how they tend to leave. क्योंकि दिमाग में clutter तो वही चल रहा है ना, क्या फायदा बोल तो दिया, कर तो रहे नहीं. Because you and I still understand, if they are not taught, that pause, give it a thought, look inside. Right. When you are calm, then when you are calm and you are stress-free, then only you have time wherein you can make informed decisions. Otherwise, हम haywire ऐसे hasty decisions बनाते, and then we, kind of repent. So once you are calm, you make those informed decisions, then you execute, and then you get the results. We only are working on the top level.
Sure.
But willingness, discipline, love, time fix करो, flexibility hours नहीं देने का, दे भी दिया तो monitor करो, right?
Sure. Yeah.
8 hours से काम कम कैसे कर रहा है?
Of course.
कितनी देर? Why is he in the recreation room, he or she? This is how we monitor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not coming to us asking for work. Timelines meet nahi ho raha, and then they are saying we are overloaded. So I understand where we as employees or managers are falling short.
Sure.
For that we need to be groomed first.
Right. I mean,
Right.
just in interest of time, I guess we are already overshooting. But what I'll just do is I'll take a few closing comments from you, maybe one or two very small practices that you can just say that this is a practice that you should follow, and maybe
Okay.
try it once, and then that's basically something that people can maybe inculcate.
Fair enough. So again, coming from 3 angles, one is individual is what I always say. Please plan your day, plan your mind, right? You go for your food diet, right? Individually, we go for keto diet and we go for a lot of vegan food and all of that. Can we go for some kind of diet here? Let's ask ourselves, practice that. Can we go for some kind of diet here? If I come across, stressful situations, stressful people, events and everything, can I choose who are the people I should be around? Out of entire 500,000 population or 10,000 population of your organization, you're not spending your entire day with everyone. Can you choose?
Sure. Yes, you can.
How you choose your food, right?
Yeah.
You choose what you can read. Can you choose what you like to be? What would you like to read? What would you like to, be your company be? What would you like to work around? How would you like to spend your day? Rather than, when a lot of people are around and you're getting confused, जैसे हम marinate करते हैं ना खाने को, and then we cook. So let's eat less marinated food. It is all up to us.
Sure.
That's food you should offer here to your mind. That is on individual level. Start practicing these things. That will definitely going to help you. And as I said, please be in responsibility frame. Responsibility frame is dynamic acceptance or passive acceptance. Dynamic acceptance is where you accept it, whatever is happening, but then you act upon also. You don't sit idle on it.
Sure.
And passive acceptance is wherein you accept it, but you do only boon, chit inside of you.
Sure.
You're not taking any action, but you're blaming the entire world.
Of course.
Control it. When you can control it, please do it. If you cannot control it, have dynamic acceptance.
It's your conscious choice to let things happen.
Your conscious choice to choose and identify from there. Use your conscious brain here for that. Your mind here, rather, I would say, your conscious mind.
Sure.
It has a tendency to keep you safe. उसको मजा नहीं आ रहा आपको growth देके या फिर आपको कोई pleasure देके. उसका काम है आपको safe रखना. वो अपना काम कर रहा है.
Sure.
Right? Mind and body they have to be in sync. What happens in mind happens in your body. What happens in your body happens in your mind. So this is what individually you can take care of it. Apart from it, as an organization, I said it is a holistic view. Wherein you need to walk your value, your culture, your people, your processes. Of course, your environment, your factors in the environment matter a lot. So value that. That will make a lot of difference. As HRs or as team leads or as mid-level managers, what we can do is we should interact more with people. Why? Because you will get to know the baseline. What is baseline here? When I say baseline, it is your behavioral patterns. At times after pandemic, you see some people tend not to talk too much. Some people get irritated very fast. So just try and figure out. You have HRBPs, you have a lot of people in your team around. Understand what are the behavioral patterns. Are there any changes? Because people will not always come to you. They're scared because there's a taboo attached to it. But you being there in that organization and system, you can definitely help them with all of this. Be aware. Look at their behavioral patterns. If they are on site, you don't have that physical interaction, then at least see how much awareness can you create. Are they visible when your meetings are on? Are they putting on their camera or not? Are they interacting? Are they available on